Hi, it's Thor's dad here. We're back with another custom creation. This time it's the headquarters from the Ghostbusters Reboot from 2016, where they had all the Lady Ghostbusters, and instead of being out at the firehouse, they had their headquarters at the Chinese restaurant. So we tried to recreate that here. We got a lot of the styles sort of similar. There was a lot of Chinese writing and symbols all over the front of it, which we just used whatever sticker pieces we had available to us to sort of recreate. The design of the building was pretty similar. I have to say that our garage here is much bigger than what it looked like in the movie, just because of the height of that Ghostbusters car, which you can kind of start to see in there on the window. Otherwise, we try to put in some of the details that we saw in the movie that we liked, as well as always trying to put in some play features, which we'll take a look at in a minute. I think it looks pretty good from all sides around here. It is modular and opens up, as most of our buildings have been recently. So let's start taking off some of these layers and seeing what we've got here. First, I guess what I'll do is I'll open up this garage door and get the Ecto one out. That was just the set. That'll just make this whole thing a little bit lighter and easier to deal with. So the first thing that pops off here is the second floor. That all comes off in one segment. We'll take a look at that first. The roof here pops off, and then we've got the whole back opens up, and we can take a look at Kevin at his desk there. We tried to give him some of the details that he had from the movie, so he's got his little saxophone there and the phone that he doesn't like to answer. We had the Ghostbusters dimensions doors back here, which added a nice little touch. And then on the inside, we gave just as much room as we could for all of their equipment here. So we've got all their proton packs hanging up on the wall that opens up here. We've got some of the other miscellaneous equipment that they were using, and then just a couple of the little benches that they had in there. And then one of the scenes that we liked in there was where Bill Murray's character gets tossed out the window. So this window kind of pops out there, and then when that happens, it also knocks off part of this sign, the Chinese lettering up front. So we had that as just kind of a flick fire missile that came out as just a little bit of an action feature there on the second floor. We also made it so that there was a little doorway here which attaches up here to the other side of the roof, where we've got just the tiniest little bathroom there. What I was kind of thinking about doing was Melissa McCarthy's character gets possessed by a ghost, but I couldn't make that happen in such a small space. So right now it's just a little bathroom, and we've got Kevin's uniform there for when he puts on his uniform instead of just being in his regular clothes. We do have one other little action feature up here on the roof. We've got just a hint of the slime that's hanging off back here, and the trigger for this is the light over here. And if we pop up on that, then we get our first little ghost that pops up and out, and then he can fly around there. So we tried to put in a couple of different little ghosts in here for the ladies to have to battle. This roof also pops off so that we can get into our garage if needed. Although there's really not a whole lot going on in there, it really just does house the car. The first floor down here also has our little Chinese restaurant that is below the Ghostbusters headquarters. So we put in just some details here. We got the little lobster tank. We've got our person buying their Chinese food to go there. We've got our little chef here about to chop up the chicken for tonight's dinner. And we've got his little grill there that he works at. Just a real small little Chinese restaurant. Something to add a little bit of detail to. And then we put in a few more play features at the back of this, where we've got their target for when they're practicing with their new equipment. So we've got our little ghost sign there. We modified one of the proton packs to have one of the stud shooters so that they can shoot at their target there and practice with that. And then in addition to that, we know that in the movie there was a scene where they don't have a lot of control over the proton pack, so we've got one of the dumps in the back here that's also gets to get blown up. And when that blows up, it's got some fire in there, so we got a little dumpster fire, so we can incorporate our fire department there if we want to as well, and have them come and battle the blaze. That's all we got. It was a fun build here for us. Oh, I'm sorry, there is actually one more thing. Let's see, let's open this up here. And we've got, I forgot there was one other ghost in here, which is currently lurking. So here's our chef back here. The ghost, you can see the play feature here, is currently lurking underneath of the stove. So he pops the top on the stove, and then he can start to fly all around inside of the restaurant until the girls come there. So you can see it's the same kind of ghost there from Ninjago that we had that can fly around in there, and it's just got a little bit of a lever there to fly him around. So just something fun to do there. Let's see, we'll put all this back together and take one last look. All right, here's one last look at the completed model. Again, this was a fun build for us. We had the inspiration from the movie, and then it was fun to try and put in some of the play features that we always like to have in our builds and come up with a good addition to our city. It was nice to have the kind of brightly colored building, and I think it'll go really well with some of the other things we already have down there, and certainly something else to for us to play with. As always, we thank you for watching. Come back and see our next MOCs as we continue to create. Subscribe, please, and if you've got any comments or can like the video, we'd appreciate it. Thanks again.